Boom. Now let's we ain't got no intro or nothing. That's cool. I ain't worried about none of that stuff right now. You know what I'm saying? Most important thing is that we got a chance to go live.
Yep. Let's do it.
Yeah, bro. So we're going over a couple things as I'm reading. I'm gonna let some people pile in, man. You know, I when I used to do this with my cousin, and we'll be getting back to that soon. You know, we just start off with the conversation, man. Like, we've been talking all day. We started off at like 4 something this morning. It was like 5 something for you, right?
Yeah, it was 5 something. I was out walking
Yeah. So
real early.
we have our conference call or our pre-production call pretty much on Tuesdays. It was just
Mm-hmm.
perfect sync. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if you just now getting on, go ahead and comment and let us know that you participating. You know, I see 2 people watching right now, so that's a good thing. So, but yeah, like trying to get down to the details on putting elevated dialogue in the right space, right?
Yep. Yeah, man. Going live tomorrow for the first time. That's exciting.
Yep, just in time for Father's Day. You know, by the
Yeah.
time we're ready to chop that up and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, and put it out there, it's gonna be good, man. We want to, you know what I'm saying, like encourage other people out there to go, like go after that conversation, man. Go after that dialogue. You know what I'm saying? If you're good at something, you're good at something.
Yep.
Make a platform for that. You know what I'm saying, and bring all the creators out. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we got some people starting to view. Well, how have you been spending 2022?
Oh man, being intentional on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, a lot of people were talking about, a lot of negative stuff. A lot of people were talking about how, a lot of negative things, whether it be losing their jobs, whether it be something political, whether it be COVID, all these different things. And a lot of people had some mental health issues. I actually took that time to dig deep into my brain. You know what I mean? So between 19, 20, and 21, I was digging into my brain, trying to learn more about myself. And one of the things that came out of it was elevated dialogue. So um, just made sense, that, fast forward to 2022, I mean, I am being intentional about things, still a little nervous about certain things. That's just to be expected when you are charting in, new territory and stuff like that. So I take on the challenge, but at the same time, man, it's, I think it's another thing that I'm working on is just other than being intentional is just being productive, with the time. We all got 24 hours, but how much can you get accomplished in those 24 hours? What are you doing with your 24 hours? So 2022, that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah, man, that's the race. Trying to beat the clock in some kind of way,
Yeah.
but for a healthy reason.
Yeah. All day, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause I was up early, man, when I saw you. I don't really get on social media early in the morning or anything, and I got on it this morning for some reason, and I think I saw where you had just posted something. I'm like, man, he had posted something at 4 something in the morning, so I just text you. Being in the military, man, we always checking on each other and stuff like this. So I know if it's super early over here for me and you up texting, you know, and I got insomnia, so I'm like, man, is this dude over here? Is he all right? Is his insomnia acting up? I don't know if you got insomnia or anything like that, man, but when you see people up in the morning, just, I don't know, I guess it's just been the military, you automatically just want to reach out and just check on this if they're okay.
Yeah. Nah, man, look, we went to bed yesterday at like 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock. It's too hot to be outside.
Yeah.
There wasn't no TV I need to watch, so
Yeah.
I went to bed. So
Yeah.
so I'm kind of like rotating my clock
Hmm.
um, to offset how hot it is and try to get more hours in the front side of my day while it's dark.
Hmm.
That way I don't have to be outside, you know what I'm saying, after 10, you know what I'm saying, down here because
Yeah.
it's triple digits. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
That's why I was out walking this morning that
yeah,
early.
yeah, like Texas is I think I live in the Baghdad part of Texas.
The bag is, oh, the extra hot part.
Yeah, I think I'm in the Saudi Arabia section of it or something. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? Like
Y'all
it's
get
Kuwait
dust
out
storms
here.
out there too.
man, well, not where we are, but like, you know, we get hazed though. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, you were stationed here, so you know,
Yeah.
like after I was like that. That's when I knew it was hot. You know, like you could just see like that rising haze, and then the wind that come with it. I'm like, oh, that's desert right there. So,
Mm-hmm.
like June took a couple of weeks to get here, but it's here. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like like the month got here, and the weather came with it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Shortly after, it's like, oh, okay, this is what we're supposed to part.
Yeah. I'm getting I got Alexa alert starting 2 days ago about extreme heat in
Yeah.
my city. So I was like, it must be hot. I don't know what it is out there right now. I hadn't checked. When they say it's going to be hot, I like to stay inside. So I'm
Mhm.
like you, yeah, because I was up walking at. I'm looking from 5:19 to 6:39. So
Yeah.
and then we were on the phone like most of that time. So I
Yeah.
think I was only like a half a mile in, and I was listening to a podcast, and it was just started getting good, and you was like, call me. So I was like,
Yeah, we
bet.
the podcast. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
we the
saying? We
podcast
the
now. So
podcast.
yeah.
So like now I get up that early because you know like I just tried to take advantage of the day and I actually like that hour because like man my
Yeah.
phone rings so much. It doesn't
Mhm.
ring nearly as much as it did last year for you know what I'm saying for just reasons associated with either business, changing in relationship dynamics, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah.
And so like I still I still remember how much my phone used to ring, but I know how important the calls are throughout the day, so I got to be available for that too. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Mhm.
I got to you know what I'm saying add I got to put my business for me at the front part of my day
Yeah.
because you know if I just wait, man, somebody else my other projects and priorities will get overcome by other people's projects and priorities at some point because
Mhm.
you know like when you're doing a lot of networking man you on other people's time so they
Yeah,
on your
absolutely.
time so you just got to make some things work when it don't seem like that. I jump at every opportunity seems
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I like the early morning. A lot of people still in the bed, a lot of people still sleep. A lot of people had, got up moving around, but when you get up between 4 and 4:30, like you have
Yeah,
the house to yourself, you have the neighborhood to yourself, like you can do pretty much what you want to do. As long as you're quiet in the house, you want to wake everybody up. You know what I mean? But if you do, so be it. You know what I mean? That ain't my intention, but you know but
yeah,
it just gives you a lot of time to do a lot of things. Like I'm sometimes I have a whole day even before I even get to work, like
yeah.
work out, take
Yeah,
a shower, take a nap, check emails, what I mean, do some mindfulness, like all the things, and then still come to work, sit down, eat breakfast and everything, and it's like, you know I am intentional, like I mentioned earlier, intentional about, taking care of myself. Taking care of yourself don't mean is you being selfish. I just take care of myself first. And then I give everybody else the rest of my day. It don't mean that everybody else during the day is lacking. Um, but
yeah,
at the same time, I gotta make sure I take care of me. So
yo, indeed, man. Look, uh, I wanna be able to interact with some of my people, man. So like, do me a favor, type something in the comments on one of them sites somewhere, Facebook or whatever. Hey, for y'all that's listening and it's interacting, I would appreciate if y'all left me some comments and you know what I'm saying. And just, let's see who's out here watching and viewing. Let's see here. What you ate today, man?
for me,
Yeah.
uh, I
Who
just
else
ate.
here?
Oh, I don't know. I just 'cause you say you can let somebody else in.
Yeah.
Well, for dinner, I just had grilled chicken breast, rice, and Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
Brussels sprouts was good too. It was on point.
Sounds pretty boring. You know what I'm saying? But
Hey,
it's
it's
efficient.
easy.
It's
It's
easy, right?
efficient. It's effective. It's good for me. You know what I mean? Basic, simple. I'm simple, man. Like I like great tasting food, but I'm not like a foodie or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, like that's kind of how I roll. So
Well, we've been into it about 10 minutes now, and we want to talk about elevated dialogue, man. We want to talk about uh, going live. We want you to, you know what I'm saying, give people your Uncle Junior, the Uncle Junior. We want a first hand take of what's been going on behind the scenes in the last 6 months. It really
Mm.
almost 9 months, but like from from conception to actual production. You know what I'm saying? Give us a heads up about what Elevated Dialogue is dedicated to.
Mm. All right, well, let me back way up then, go back during COVID.
Mhm.
I'm 46 years old, and it's not a lot of men in my family. I don't think there's any men in my family that's in their 60s and plus. So one of the things I decided to do was just take a better interest in my health. While I was taking a better interest in my health, I started cutting out the music and started figuring out, like, well, hey, if I'm working out, I can take care of my body and take care of my mind at the same time. So I started listening to podcasts. I listened to all kind of podcasts on, growing, developing as a human, as a person, as a man, all these different things. And like I said, there were not a lot of men in my family. So I was like, and I have three sons. So I was like, well, how can I give this information back, whether it be now or whether it be later? So one of the things I came up with, I started a men's group last year around February. And in the men's group, it started off strong, but it kind of slowed down some. I was doing it once a month, and it was just trying to create a safe space for men to go be able to have conversations, be able to talk about different things without being ridiculed, without being canceled, without anything like that. Just a safe place for men to have conversations. So while that started dwindling off a little bit, I was like, well, I still want to have these conversations. I have three sons. My sons may or may not listen to me right now. So, but they still need the information. So, being that there's no men in my family that are in their 60s, and I have three sons who may or may not be listening, I thought that maybe since I don't have all the information, I would get with other men around my same age and try to create content and information to where we can come together collectively with our experiences, with our different walks of life, with all our opportunity, just with everything, our different walks of life, and how we can come together collectively to be able to provide information or provide, just conversations or dialogue that can push the conversation forward to whereas men at some point can benefit from. So me and you had talked, in the past, I talked to somebody else. So it just made sense to start a podcast. And then last November, was the first show, and you flew out. Dr. Easley came over. We had JL, behind the scenes, doing the video and audio and stuff like that. So November of 21 was when the first show started. Um, and we've been growing. We started out with 0 subs. Now the platform is up to almost 100. So if you are watching this, jump over to the channel and subscribe. I would appreciate that.
You got to
Um,
you got to
and then
drop the
yeah,
channel in the private chat, and I'll put it over here in the comment. Oh, you should have access to the comments though,
no,
right?
I won't let me type in anything.
Oh,
But
okay.
I'll go jump on Facebook and look and see.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
and then that brings us.
you already put the channel on Facebook though, right?
Yeah.
In the comments, yeah.
But then, and then, lastly, we fast forward. We've had a bunch of good shows and different things like that. Had some guests on there, and then tomorrow, June the 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern, we'll be going live for the first time. So, I'm, excuse me, like I said, I'm excited about that.
Man, look, it's been a very interesting time over the last
Mm-hmm.
6 months or so. You know what I'm saying? Really, like with November, like being the jump off month for us actually kicking this thing off.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just talking the other day, it's almost November again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So look what we are. So we getting some feedback over. I see it, man. Look, hey, I appreciate y'all. Uh, if you interested, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link over here in the chat.
Hmm.
to invite some people up. They want to talk. You know what I'm saying? They can hear me. Here you go. Let's see, watch this. Boom. Yeah. So like for whatever reason, the comments aren't popular. Oh, there they go right there. You see that?
Hmm.
Now that comment actually showed up over here. That's
Yeah.
great. So good, man. You know, and my platform, I think the way I'm gonna maintain the consistency that I know the people that's in my timeline want me to have is gonna really. I want it to kind of be a push pull for elevated dialogue. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Hmm.
Because there's a lot of content opportunity on both sides of it. Some conversations fit elevated dialogue more, some of it fits code talk, and we all got different platforms that address different things. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Um, for those of you just now tuning in, I appreciate you. We got a lot of great content coming in the future. Some's
Yeah.
already out there. I think Unc already dropped the link in the comments over here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I've
that
dropped them in the private chat.
yeah, in the private chat. Hold on, I'm gonna put that. We're going to put the other link over in the comment section so they can go subscribe to this. Man, people don't know how much production really goes on over here, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It's simple, but it's still just tedious.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, because if you don't do it, you overlook something, you think it's small, and a whole bunch of people miss the information.
Hmm.
And they would have clicked. They would have found whatever you was trying to tell them. You know what I'm saying? So I try to do my best to get that information out. I'm kind of big on that because when you work in capacities where when you got somebody that holds all of the information and timelines get missed, and you like, well, where did the communication break down? You know, you start taking those things into account. You don't want to be the person that's holding yourself up. So I
Yeah.
kind of share information the same way.
Yeah.
Um, I know we talked about a couple of things. I know we just basically just catching up live anyway.
Hmm. Yep.
But you know, there's a lot of things that have happened since we last spoke. My account was restricted for a month. Uh,
Mm.
I hadn't been live since Will Smith got in his situation with Chris Rock, and since then we've had, man, what, 3 or 4 school shootings. There was another one the other day. I didn't even go look at it. It was in Duncanville, Texas. You know what I'm saying? And I hadn't even sat down to go look at it. But we also had wide varying conversations about women not having no code, from what I'm saying, from whatever spectrum you want to have a conversation about. So what's the most important thing in the last 3 months that you think is going to affect us going forward in the next 3 months, if anything at all?
Mm. I'm sure it's something out there.
Because school's going to start back soon too.
Hmm.
So that's why I'm asking that question, because there's a lot of things that back in the day it felt like when it happened within that school year, you go back to the next school year, whatever happened in that previous year didn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Now, mind you, we're not in school, but um, there hasn't been too many major adjustments for security in school. Not that I've seen anyway, and I don't know how much of those security concerns will change in the next 90 days to prepare for these students to come right back to school. So with you being an educator, you know what I'm saying, and working in a school, how does that how does your safety, come into play? How does the kids' safety, like, as much as that you can discuss, because I'm sure some of the stuff has got to be proprietary at this point now.
Hmm.
And if it's not, it should be.
Yeah. I
But
will say that, after the last shooting, one of the things that happened was, I guess what we would call in the military as a show of force. More of the officers, were around the school, walked the campuses, and I guess as a deterrent. Um, you know, Being in the military, and I have a totally different, you know, perspective than a lot of people. You know, After
mhm,
you've been to war and different things like that, you've been to war, and at any moment, that you could it could probably be the last time. Not even necessarily if you're actually out there fighting, but just based off the fact that a mortar could come in, and it could just be your day.
for
So
real.
um that's the reality of it. every single day when you deployed in Iraq. So my perspective on life is pretty much like, you know, I don't really worry about a lot of things anymore. It's just like if things are going to happen, they're going to happen. I know that there are some things that can be put into place and stuff like that, and maybe I should take more of an interest in it. Um, but um, when I go to work, you know, it's not my job to come up with the contingency plan and the infrastructure or the way that the school decides that they're going to handle certain things. I know in my mind what I plan on doing, you know, if there's a situation and it may or may not line up with what the district or the principal decides to do. So,
Right.
with that being said,
With that being said, you gonna
mhm,
take a sip. Hmm.
yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, you have to look out for yourself. You know,
Yeah, ain't
I
nobody
mean, there
coming to
was a
say.
yeah, I saw it on TikTok. I don't know how true it is. I haven't, you know, checked it out or did any fact checking, but apparently doing that one of those shootings down in Texas, they one of the moms went back in to go get her kids or something. It's like
Yeah,
they were trying to arrest her for it, and it's like, but I
yeah,
didn't, I never saw that story on mainstream media. I saw it on TikTok, and I guess apparently they tried to issue her a gag order or something like that
yeah. I saw that.
in the
Yeah.
beginning.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's like how can you tell that woman she can't go and take care of her child? I understand the safety behind it. I understand it from both sides of it. You know what I mean? And I think unless you have some experience or unless you've been in that situation, um, a lot of people would say what they would or wouldn't do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I, I don't think there's a wrong answer to protect children.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like number one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Number two, I think that people that vote have, like they have a responsibility to go yell and scream right now
Mm-hmm.
because they have the resources to track these people and find them because they always seem to know every single detail about the shooter after the shooter's been either neutralized, detained, or whatever terminology they like to use. You know what I'm saying? So underpaying your teachers and under resourcing them, and then even floating the idea that teachers should be armed, you know, in a school where kids already don't listen to the parents that they do have, and then they definitely not gonna listen to, you know what I'm saying, instruction um, from the teachers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the conversation of arming teachers is delusional. Number one,
Yeah.
um, so that's on one level, but at some point, if you can't improve the security of a school and law enforcement is picking and choosing, what they want to do when they get on site, they want to determine what's a sense of urgency and what's not, poor C2, poor tactical control, and like showing more aggression to the parents than the shooter inside the school.
Mm-hmm.
Um, over what? How long of a period of time? It was like an hour and 20 minutes. This whole event took off at Uvalde.
Shoot, I don't even know.
It was too long. For, what I'm saying? It was long enough for us to still be talking about it. And then you had the shooting in Buffalo. In May,
Mm-hmm.
which resulted in 10 people being killed, and most of them senior citizens in their own backyard. By somebody that drove a couple of hours away to go, what I'm saying, terrorize a community and having a racist manifesto to go with it. So protecting children is paramount already, right? And in most cultures, old people should be protected. And in this situation, you got a bunch of old people that's been killed and a bunch of children. Is that not like an act of war in any other country?
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, that's usually like what kicks off like a genocide somewhere, right?
Mm.
If you ever read anything about, like significant civil uprisings and stuff, I think even the Armenians had an uprising. You know what I'm saying? I think they were either killed by the Turks. I got to go back and look at that again. I don't want to mistake that, but I know that there's serious genocidal events that took place that you know what I'm saying, that preceded ongoing conflicts. Just like when Saddam went up to do jail and dropped those chemical weapons on those people up there. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody took a shot at him down in his city. Like, hey, did somebody shot at me? Y'all know who did it and won't tell me? All right, then.
Hmm.
Sarin gas. You know what I'm
You know
saying?
way more about that stuff than me.
Yeah, like, well, that's my wheelhouse, and so that's
Yeah.
what. So like when I have like observations about some of these things, I can reference a historical event that's actually taking place, because it sounds like if you're listening to it with the wrong ear, you're listening for a conspiracy theory. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? If you're looking at how to compare what's taking place in history already to where we are right now, I think that that's just called situational awareness. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? Because we now have a generation of school shooters and survivors, man. Who would have thought that we would be having this conversation about generations of school shooters? That's kind of crazy to think of, you know what I'm saying? But, I guess we had to take progress. Well, we got to take everything that comes with progress. You want more accessibility to guns, then this is the risk that goes with it. Now, I don't. This ain't even about the legal gun discussion or whatever. It's just about using firearms. You know what I'm saying, and who can get them, and a few other things that a lot of people didn't think about. Prior to where we are right now.
Hmm.
Because we made a lot of things more and less socially acceptable over time, but we made a lot more unhealthy things socially acceptable to be engaged in. Those are those socially unhealthy things are usually called ignorance. So, but
Yeah.
we got a
We
lot of
did a
that.
show on it. We did an episode on this.
Yeah, pure
We
ignorance, right?
talked about this. Hmm?
What you mean?
We did an episode on all of this stuff, all this gun talk and stuff like
Oh
that. It
yeah,
just
yeah,
hadn't
yeah,
aired
yeah.
yet.
When is that gonna drop, man? You know what I'm saying?
Within the next 2 weeks, my schedule has freed up some
Yeah,
this
yeah,
summer, so I got some more time to go back and edit videos and stuff like that. So
yeah. And that's the thing. Like, so this is a great opportunity to talk about some of these uh, topics where we can bring some attention to them for the right reason, and have the conversation, in a setting that comes from love, that comes from, what I'm saying, a desire to gain some understanding, and protect our own communities, man. You know what I'm saying? So, what else you got planned on your agenda for the rest of 2022? You got something big you trying to accomplish personally? You muted, sir. You muted.
I think something is going to change. More so the main thing is just to get more precise and be more educated on this. I'm also going to taking a coaching course, and I got a couple of books that I want to read,
Mm-hmm.
and just to continue to grow the channel and continue to produce solution based content.
Yeah.
Those are the main things right now.
What you doing for Father's Day? Because I know you barbecuing. Because ain't
I ain't
nobody cooking.
barbecuing.
Ain't nobody cooking for you.
Not me. I'm not barbecuing on Father's Day.
The audacity, right?
The audacity. Yeah,
No,
that don't make sense. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, if that's what you want to do,
yeah,
but like, you can barbecue anytime.
yeah.
Like,
I don't need a day to do that, right?
yeah, and like, if that's my day, I mean, if you love and you enjoy doing it, all things are
Bro,
true. Go out there and do it. But it's
yeah,
just the point that it's your holiday, and people ask you to cook on their holiday. No one. if mama don't get breakfast in bed on Mother's Day, I mean, the house gonna be in an uproar. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just
Man,
saying, mama better have something on Mother's Day.
man, the way Father's Day has historically been marketed has just been trash, man. Like I remember it used to be like home improvement commercials. Buy dad some
Mhm.
tools. You know what I'm saying? Get him another lawnmower so he can go outside. Kind of like
Yeah,
those old 50s marketing ads to women.
yeah.
Like women looking like they getting excited about a new vacuum and stuff.
Mhm.
Nah, like me and just bruh, like getting celebrated. Nah, fam, you got to
I
do that.
forgot about Father's Day. Like, honestly,
See,
I
that's what I'm
forget it.
saying. Like even then, you forgot. You talked
Yeah,
about leaving stuff for your kids
yeah.
early in the show.
I've been a father for 27 years and I still forget about Father's Day. I
Yeah,
remember it more now, in a sense, just because I got a son. So somebody be like, "Hey, it's Father's Day," and then he got children. So I think about him when I'm thinking about Father's Day. I'm like, "Oh, I gotta get my son something for Father's Day."
yeah,
So that's what I
yeah.
think about. I don't never really thought about how I'm celebrating. You know what I mean?
Right. It's just not. It's just not the thing. You know what I'm saying that we
Mhm.
do anyway. So man,
All I need is a $500 Home Depot or Lowe's gift card. Just give me that. That's what we need to start advocating for as men. All fathers need to start advocating for Lowe's or Home Depot gift cards.
yeah, just send the gift cards, man.
Yeah, no more shirts and ties.
No, don't
Like,
do that. Like, yeah,
yeah,
just get us gift cards.
get my gift card on Sunday. Let me wake up early in the morning on Monday. I take
Mhm.
the day off on Monday and I just walk Lowe's, buy paint, buy wood, just all kind of stuff. That's what I do.
You
Buy
know,
some old plants for the yard.
that's like old man porn right there.
Yeah, it's me. I like that stuff. I like working in the yard. Like I gotta put working in the yard on my schedule, and I gotta get up there early. So in the morning times, I gotta get my workout in and get the yard work done before 10 o'clock, before
Man,
9 o'clock, before it get hot.
you still training to planning to run a marathon this year?
Uh, Perhaps I don't know. I'm just getting over a little small injury that I kind of sustained right before I did the half marathon, but I ran it anyway. Probably
Mhm.
aggravated a little bit, so I only been walking for the last. I ran once in the last month, since the half. So have the whole marathon is on the table. And bruh, have you done one before?
Oh, absolutely not.
Mm, bruh. So when I
No,
was running,
I go to a marathon gas station.
when I,
I will come to the marathon that you run and I'll be at the end. I might catch you or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
If you close to laying on the pavement or something, but no,
yeah.
the kid ain't running. No,
Man, running is
my feet started
is
hurting as soon as you said it.
man, it's exhilarating, man. I can't just either walking. I don't know if it's just walking or running, just getting away, um, being up when no one's up, being out in nature. Like I don't know what it is, but it's like it's addicting. It's like dopamine addicting to me now. It's like I have to do it. Like every morning, every other day, I have to be outside. I have to be walking, running, hiking.
You still getting attacked by those owls?
No, no, no more owls. Man, bro, that was crazy. But I seen everything. You see everything out there. I've seen owls, um, shoot, snapping turtles, foxes, coyotes. Man, I ain't seen no bears yet though.
Yeah,
A lot of birds, a lot of cats, a lot of
I'm, I'm
rabbits,
I'm glad you haven't seen a bear either.
possums. Yeah,
Yeah,
I see all of
like
them.
I think you got this. You got a different type of protection on. You know what I'm saying? There's only a
Yeah,
certain group of people that encounter bears.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it ain't us. You know,
yeah.
everybody else,
Thanks.
they on the they on the menu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want to see nothing when I'm out there running.
I
I
don't want
don't
to
want
see
to see
nothing
no
with more
animal.
legs than me.
Yeah. I don't want to see
I can
nothing.
still get out and walk and ruck. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But like I running now, man. I got to save my knees.
Mhm.
I gave too much of my joints to Uncle Sam. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And uh, running around here injured.
Oh man, all my stuff hurt every day. I
Oh
just I just it's just pain tolerance now. I'm just like, it's gonna hurt if I do something, it's gonna hurt if I don't. So at this point, I'm just like, well, I'm just gonna hurt and do it.
yeah,
But I
yeah, like
don't,
because it's gonna suck either way.
it's gonna suck either way. I'm choosing my heart,
Yeah,
So
I
and
used
for
to,
me, it's not hard. It's just, gotta have the discipline to get up, and do it every morning. Like I did it for 20 years in the military, so it's like I can still do it. So
yeah,
but I I enjoy more so the ability to be able to listen to all those podcasts and get information in during that time. You know what I mean? It's like you can really think and really come up with some great ideas, plans, structures, all of that stuff. So like that time that I have with myself in the morning is like, it's like you can't put a price on it. Like I have to do it every morning. I have to do something for me every single morning.
yeah, yeah, man. Look, this is the first time we've been live on my page. With
Hmm.
yes, you know what I'm saying. Or did we go live once? And I think you hung out a little bit. I might have been just doing some testing or something before. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was just testing. I don't think it's the first time I've actually been on live.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Or yeah, I think that might have been it.
yeah.
No, I think I saw you in the comments, and I was just doing some testing, and I told you to come on. I think that's what it was because I was trying to
Mm.
see if my connection was hitting YouTube and everything else. Oh yeah, for everybody that doesn't know, hey man, y'all need to go click that link that's in my caption for Linktree and go subscribe to my YouTube if you haven't already. Um, things are about to change in a very, very good way for all of us. And matter of fact, while you're in there, make sure you see the Patreon. Go click and subscribe to that. Because eventually we're gonna start migrating more content to the paid platforms because it's our time, and it's your time to get on board. The clothes gonna be coming out soon. Um, if you need to book a place to stay, to come down to the Colleen area, hey, holler at your boy. If you need a car while you're here, that too. All of that stuff is contained in that Linktree link that's in the caption. And we got a lot of great stuff coming. As a matter of fact, I should just go ahead and run my commercial, huh? Since while we're here. That's what it's for. So yeah, man, we just been making progress, bro. And you can't even be mad at what I'm saying, at the way things are just going, you know. It's just working out the way it's supposed to, and um, you gotta make every moment count every day, man. And I think we do that very well with the way that we promote each other, interact with each other, and then and make sure we check on each other too. It's not one sided. You know what I'm saying? It's all working pieces right now. Like feeding each other, and it's just like the essence of group economics. Because first you got to have established trust, work that you put in with each other, and then what I'm saying, commitment to it, and that's what we do. So,
Yeah.
um, man, and that's been like one of the best things that's come out of all of this work is you know supporting each other. So hang on a second. I'm gonna get ready to play this video, and let's see if I can share this screen. See, this is why this production stuff is crazy. When it comes down to it. Share screen. Let's see here. Window. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna back this up for a second because it wanted to take off. All right, so this is my Airbnb property located in Killeen, and one of
Hey, unmute your mic.
Yeah. So that is that's one of the Airbnb properties right there, you know. And hey man, things are going well. It's travel season, stuff is booked, and it's popular.
Yeah. I like to hear that.
Yeah, so make the most out of it, man.
Yeah. Are you already ready for tomorrow's topic? Are you ready for the first live show?
Yeah, bro. You know, it's
Yeah.
I'm with everything. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? When it comes down to it, it's uh it's inevitable. We gotta be ready. And
Yeah.
hey, the best saying ever was if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Yeah. There you
And
go.
we've been working for a long time, so it's just a matter of time, and here we are. You know.
Hmm.
So with that being said, let me go ahead and find this video I just downloaded. Look, here we go. Right on point with it. Boom. So loading the
Why I say mute your mic when you ain't talking. Cause see, like you leave yours on so you can jump in. You know what I'm saying? But do you see how
Video is this?
destructive that is? No. Stop. Mute your mic. Let him talk.
Okay, go ahead.
But hey, man, hey, look, I appreciate everybody who's watching, who's joined in right now. Welcome to another episode of Elevated Dialogue on the Uncle Junior Network. Today we have my
Is this the one that we wanted?
nah, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Hang
That's
on.
the one I sent you.
I don't know. Let me check again because I just checked my downloads. I might have got in the wrong spot. Hey, this is the fun part though.
Yeah, it's the fun part.
Let's see here. I'm like, how did that work? No, it's definitely not it. Boom. I was looking for it to say elevated dialogue and it wasn't. But here we go. That's a very, very good edit, man. That is a very good chop up considering where this thing started and you know what I'm saying, where it's going and what it has the potential to be. You know, it's gonna get the right attention, man. So, you know, I love the fact that we got a chance to do this together. And you know, like it came from like we both were thinking about doing it in completely different ways, and we was having a conversation about it, but not talking directly about working together. And then it just so happened that it's been as productive as it's been. You know what I'm saying? It's been way more productive than what we thought it was going to be. I'm sure. So it forced us to learn some new skills too. You muted. You still don't know how to unmute your mic though.
Yeah, I'm still trying to learn how to unmute the mic.
But you chopping up videos really, really good,
Yeah.
man. Yo, that's a clean edit, man.
Yeah, I'm still learning the editing process. You know, it's time consuming. It's a lot of details that goes into it.
Yeah.
But sometimes it can be fun.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I never really get to watch it like while I'm editing it. So usually afterwards, I'll watch it usually afterwards. But when I'm watching, I'm usually critiquing the editing stuff
Mm-hmm.
more so than the content, you know. So, um, but I do listen. I always pick up and always learn stuff from the shows. So, which is a good thing, you know, because initially I wanted to cater it towards young men, but it's every time we have a conversation, I I learn something. So I understand that even though young men can benefit from it, like all men can benefit from it, like all of these things can benefit men, because we got different guys that's on the show from different walks, different avenues of life. So since we all come from different backgrounds, we all bring different experiences, and our different experiences are what make us who we are. But it also allows us to have the conversation from different vantage points. And I think that that's really good because now what can come from that is that the men who tune in, or even women who may be raising men, raising young boys, or you got a grandma out there and she's looking to, try to figure out, how can she help her son or her grandson or whatever like that, it's information that she can share with them, So I lost my train of thought, but I'm sure you'll be able to get me back on it.
Yeah. Now, I think the points that you were reiterating are vital. You know what I'm saying? Considering that we've had a conversation that's covered quite a few different topics,
Hmm.
but to make sure that we're driving the point home about promoting elevated dialogue, the target audience, who can benefit from it. You know what I'm saying, and what it's about. When is it coming on? You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
consistency of it and all of that.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. Like I always look for the 5 W's because that's what
Hmm.
boils down what's important.
Yeah.
And you know we know what our target audience is. We know
Hmm.
who is giving us the feedback after this point, and now it's up to us to do the work to get it heard as loud as possible.
Yeah.
We got a lot of content already, man. That added up
Hmm.
very very quickly. So
Hmm. And it is just to reiterate to anyone who may be watching, it's a men's platform. So it's not that just because you have a men's platform and you advocate for men, it doesn't mean that you shun women or anybody else. It's just that, just like anything else, we're just focusing on one part of everything else. So, sometimes people are gonna may watch the content and be like, well, that's not fair, and women this and women that. Well, we get all of that, but there are other platforms for that. This platform is not to soothe um, women or to make them feel better, good, bad, or indifferent. It's to advocate for men, and to create an open space or space for us to be able to have conversations about what we can do to be better men, to help us to be more productive, all things men. But like I said, this is not to say that women can't tune in and learn some things, because
but it ain't
some
about y'all.
things, but it's not about y'all, but some things are good for men and women to hear. Um, at the same time, 'cause women can, especially if you want to maybe find a husband, you may tune in and we're talking about something that may benefit you in finding the type of man that you may want to be with. Um,
Dialogue is a solutions based conversation.
Absolutely.
That is the point of it. It's it unpacks and it puts certain cliche discussions in the proper place. Like this morning, I was at the gym. There was this lady. We was having a conversation. I was ready to walk out, and somewhere in the course of the conversation, she was talking about a situation where she chose to agree to disagree with somebody. And I said, hey, that's not a negative thing. That's
Hmm.
boundaries. That's conflict resolution. You know what I'm saying? That's understanding that everybody doesn't care about your opinion. Everybody doesn't care about your feelings. And really, who knows that better than men? so, so like the way the conversation was broken down, she understood it because like we speak different languages. We got different cultures. We got different areas we operate in, you know what I'm saying? And we are due the opportunity for someone to learn how to communicate with us instead of us always trying to change the way that we speak to accommodate everybody else just because of a lack of understanding or a lack of will or lack of capacity. You know what I'm saying? Lack is no longer my problem. So it's not my fault if you can't incorporate what I'm saying. You know, just like it ain't my fault if I don't care about what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? You just refuse. You just want to be muted.
I get all of that. Yeah, I don't know why I keep doing it.
No,
I think because like I hear some background noise here, so I'm hoping that it don't pick up. But I feel like
man.
it's probably not picking up anyway.
No, it's just you. It's just
Yeah,
making it a big deal. But hey,
yeah,
they go
being
tell you how.
self-conscious.
Yeah, no, you just real meticulous. That's all it is. You want things to operate a certain way,
Yeah.
and I get it because when you've been behind those keys, looking at them screens, and like you see things differently, you hear things differently. So um,
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate your eyes and ears on things. You know what I'm saying? I know
Yeah,
you're gonna
man.
always have us to put up in the best situations, and I'm glad that I'm working with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And especially considering the fact that you know we've been friends and for man, what 14 years now?
Oh
14
eight.
man, look, yeah, 14 years.
Mhm.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. It's
It's
gonna
kind of
be
crazy.
um about the show tomorrow. It's called, for whoever watching, it's called Why is it hard for men to find quality women? Why is it
Uh-oh.
hard for men to find quality? Why is it um why is it hard to find quality women to marry? So it's the
Ooh,
key word in it is to marry. You know
to
what I
marry.
mean? To marry. So I'm looking
What
forward to it tomorrow. How you think the show is going to go? Um, just based off the topic, because um, I don't want to. I don't want to. You know, I don't
what
want to
brought the
give
question up?
everything, huh?
What brought the question up? Because you have a very, very uh good way of asking a very succinct question that I that is gonna anger somebody. And it is not even offensive. It's a real question, because geography matters. Where you are has an
Hmm.
effect on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And geography determines timelines, where you go, who you talk to, things of
yeah.
that nature.
But that
So,
all depends on who you talk to. Someone may say it all depends on when the stars are lined up and when their zodiac sign meet with someone else's zodiac signs. Hey, all things are true, right? All things
yeah,
are
it's true.
true.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
for whatever reason, everybody has their reason why, but I think it's going to be interested, because if you look at some of the men, that we may encounter, some men may not be married, and whether I don't know, and I don't even know if the statistics matter as far as how many men are married or not married. But I would say that, regardless, there's a number of men out there who do want to be married, and I've heard it a bunch of times talking about they are having a hard time trying to find, the right woman. So it's gonna be interesting to see, coach's aspect, Antoine's aspect, yours, everybody different aspect and perspective about that, because it's a whole bunch of different reasons why um, men are having a hard time trying to find good quality women.
There's quite a few reasons, and I'd say there's a large population of delusional men. Okay,
Hmm.
and because they have to have, you got to understand that if we're calling a certain group of women delusional based on
Hmm.
some of their unrealistic requirements, then that means that there's some unrealistic men out there too. So eventually we're going to get down to the conversation about the spawn of Kevin Samuels. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like the folks that turned his messages into some kind of terrorist way of moving.
Yeah.
Like he turns people into some incels.
Extremists. Kevin
extremists. Like
Samuels extremist.
it's extremists on both sides of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, they used to say there's good people on both sides of this
Yeah.
thing. No. There's extremists on both sides of this. You know,
Hmm.
like, and I think that um, we just living in an accountability age. You know what I'm saying? Where it was social media fuels a lot of things. I think it distorts a lot of perceptions, you know, of each other, especially if
Hmm.
you don't have true organic relationships, especially if you didn't grow up with and without the internet, with and without a
Hmm.
cell phone. I'd imagine communication is different for that group of people, you know what I'm saying, versus people like us. You know, we communicated on all platforms, you know.
Yeah.
Are you safe? Did it
Yeah.
get
There was a gnat or a bug or something right in my face. I don't know where it came from. Must because it's getting hot. They like it's too hot out here. We coming in the house.
Man, but no, I think that question is gonna have a diverse pool of responses, and I can't wait to
Yeah.
see if we can get some people to come on live later on and
Hmm.
ask, you know what I'm saying, if why aren't there any good women to marry? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, yeah, we can ask people that's in the comments now. You know what I'm saying? If anybody is listening and you want to come on, um, let me go ahead and drop a link. I think I put the link up there in the comments or in the caption. I'm gonna change that in a second. Nah, I didn't. Hang on a second. I'm gonna do it right now. And if not, then we'll be able to get it on the whatchamacallit. What is it? We better just put it in the comments. Hang on. Sorry, I don't talk and text anymore.
Hmm.
Even when I'm sitting down. I'm gonna put a hashtag on this right here so nobody don't think it's me. Hey, looking for somebody to marry. No, I'm good. All right, let's see here. Yeah, man. So I want to challenge some people to come on, you know what I'm saying, and hang out with me or whatever. So I don't know what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? You welcome to stay and hang out a little bit longer you want to, you know. I'm probably
Yeah,
gonna
I
hang
hang
out.
around.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna hang
hang
out.
around for a little bit more. I ain't
Yeah,
got too much to do. You know, my schedule done cleared up a little bit, so
yeah. You were just
I'm,
saying, yeah,
I'm
you got time.
relaxing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I just thought about something. You had asked me that question. Where did the topic come up? Where did the topic come from?
yeah.
Um, it took me a few weeks to come up with that topic, man. It's like I wanted to get something that was going to be engaging.
Yep.
Um, that was going to possibly bring some differences in opinions, because at the end of the day, it's a mute point, but we are all different, but at the same time, it's like when we all want something different. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but the steps and the roads that we take to get there are different too.
Yep.
But I don't know. I think sometimes it's a whole bunch of different reasons, man. It's like, but I guess at the end of the day, it kind of came down to um, what was going to be something good that most men want, um, and I think that's kind of sort of where it came from. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because all men, not all men, most men who have worked their way up to a certain level at some point want to be able to create or have some sort of legacy. And that comes with having a wife and possibly having some kids. Not all men, but I think there's a large portion of men. And even if not, I think there's a large portion of men who, at some point in their life, want to be married and want to settle down, want to be old, want to have somebody to feed them their soup, want to have somebody to walk to the park with, want to have somebody to fuss at with them, when they come back from fishing because they didn't track mud in the house. So I think, So I think, at the end of the day, I think most men do want to have somebody, but I think that um, there's a lot of men who can't find them, and it's why can't you find them? There's been a lot of um, blame placed on men, you know, but I think that sometimes, that that dynamics or that conversation needs to switch sometime, because sometimes it's not the men, you know.
Mhm.
If men want to be married and I can't find a suitable partner or a suitable mate, or actually a suitable wife, then
Yeah,
what am
that's
I
the
supposed to
important
do?
part.
Yes,
Hmm.
because it's easy, for most men, not most men, but um, certain men, especially with a certain status, they don't have a problem finding a woman to be with. Men can always pay for it if they want to. There's porn, there's different avenues that men can go to do what they want to do. But I think at the end they want to be married. So where do they go to find these women? You know,
You
they're
know,
out there.
they go to
You know,
Thailand. They go to the
yeah.
Philippines.
See,
You
hey,
know it.
to each their own. But why is it that they feel like they have to go? You know, outside of the U.S. or outside of their demographic to find one.
Hey
You know,
man, you can only have what you can afford,
you don't have what you can afford,
and
and
they
if you
ain't got
can,
nothing to do with money.
yeah, it ain't got nothing to do with money.
Hmm.
So
Like
a lot
if
of people think that statement has a lot to do with money. It has something to do with money, but not it. One thing to do with money, but not everything.
yeah, one thing, but not everything. I like that
Hmm.
because the reality is if you're making money and you still don't have any like I guess balance in your
Suitable.
personality. Yeah, yeah. Your money don't change. Money changes opportunities
Yeah,
sometimes.
access.
It does. It changes access, but it doesn't.
Hmm.
It doesn't give you options. It's
Yeah,
just
and
a
it doesn't
tool.
guarantee an outcome either.
It doesn't guarantee an outcome. Yeah,
Nope, not
and
at
that's
all.
kind of what I'm looking at because like it's a tool. Like, but if you don't know how to use the tool, you're not gonna
Hmm.
fix nothing.
Yeah, because the thing about it, if you got resources, you got the money, you should be the first person to be able to find a spouse. You know what I mean? If it
Yeah,
was about money, because and even in theory, you should be able to, because if you have the money, you have the resources, you can hire a dating coach, you can hire a personal trainer, you can hire, all of these different people who can get you to a level or to a place to where you can find said spouse if you want to. So money still doesn't guarantee you that you're gonna find that right person or whatever, or you're gonna find that quality wife.
yeah,
And then it comes down to what is quality and what are you gonna see. You know what I mean? Are you actually looking at quality? You know what I mean? In the first 6 months, you know,
yeah.
are you looking at quantity? Are you looking at how much you getting them skins? You know what I mean? It's a lot different after the first 6 months. So after a certain amount of time, the relationships change. They
Yeah,
adjust, they evolve.
yeah, they do. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, they do. Um, I think that it would be difficult in this time frame. Like all things on the surface right now, but like
Hmm.
it's difficult for both men and women to find somebody that fits what they're trying to do. You know,
I think
and
it's
this is why
different reasons why.
I think it's definitely different reasons why,
Hmm.
but I think one of the things that social media has done or has enabled, it has affected everything that used to be normal to do.
Hmm.
It used to be easy to go out, well, not easy, but it used to be more routine to go out and try to meet somebody in person and you know what I'm saying, and deal with whatever disappointment that you might experience
Hmm.
real time. But like now, you can get catfished, you can get you can get the business. You know, you can get your pockets ran. They got told TV shows about people getting catfish.
Yeah.
So
I don't understand that.
and then the other part of it is like this too, man. It's like being directly everybody's directly impacted by social media, whether they use it or not. And reason being is that if you don't use it, it doesn't matter. The person that you're talking to, if they use it, you're going to be impacted by it. Whew. At some point, it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because if they have biases and they use social media, they can find whatever confirmation bias they want to all day. And then by the time that they get a chance to have a conversation with you or interact with you in some way, shape, or form, then you don't know what they've been digesting. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what they've been talking about, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, look at my boy Leonard. Hey, you see that question that's up there? Hey, I appreciate you joining us. Like, ask people around, where do they find women to marry? You know what I'm saying? What are y'all dealing with right now in the dating world? You know what I'm saying? I'm glad I'm not dabbling in what y'all dabbling in right now, but you know what I'm saying? If it applies to you, I would love to hear what your feedback is on it. You know what I'm saying? And what type of conversations are you observing in other places? Yeah. So, but
Where you think these women are?
where do I think they are?
Yep. Quality women.
I think they all around. I think the individual, it's on the individual to have the skill that puts them in the right space to meet somebody that's complementary to what they're doing. I think the fairy tale relationship is gone. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's a whole generation of people that grew up without a fairy tale relationship being, without that being the model. You know what I'm saying? Because like now, like I always use that analogy about, back in the day, you watch a movie and some dude chasing the love of his life as she get ready to get on a plane, and he just running through the airport, and it just run all the way up to the gate with no problem. Has a ticket counter and everything. Now you go in the airport, it's unrealistic. You're going to jail. You're getting tagged.
Yeah.
You're getting zip tied. You take off running in the airport now if you want to.
Somebody gonna tackle you. Might be a civilian gonna tackle you.
Yeah, it might be a bunch of you might get stomped out. Because you're trying to run down the love of your life.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
you might get January 6th.
Yeah, bro, you can't even leave your car in front of the airport too long without getting told. So I think the fairy tale model is gone. Then there's a huge gap where the relationships that we were shown were like struggle relationships, were really situationships, and being modeled as love, you know what I'm saying, in some way, shape, or form, reflecting the society that we were growing up in at the time, because you can't create something that actually didn't happen. You know, you can't recreate something that hadn't already happened, if that makes sense. You know, you had to get it from somewhere, right? And I think just situationships over time have jaded a lot of people, and then you mix in some social media, you mix in some economics, and you got a petri dish for a dating pool right now. People trying to get connected to each other, but all of them are in the same situation. Nobody's doing nobody's the help for the other person, and most people don't need help on the financial end, which makes my comes back to one of my philosophical questions, right? Who are you when you remove the need for money? Because nobody's going to disagree right now. We all need money. We all need to ensure our quality of life, take care of those around us, and we got, existing obligations, right? So that means you have to go to work. So you got to have a certain skill to qualify, in most cases, to go work for someone, right? So what if the job that you have, which is, I don't know, let's say, I don't know, making fish hooks, if that takes care of your quality of life and you don't want anything else, that's a pretty secure job, I guess. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you want to do. But what is your brain doing all day while it's making fish hooks? You know what I'm saying? And then when you get off, how much time do you have to yourself to work on self improvement? You know what I'm saying? Because in order for you to be, qualified, in order for you to be in a dating space, shouldn't you be dateable also?
So you mean they need to take some accountability and look at themselves and make sure that they're whole first before they start dating?
I don't have to repeat nothing that you already said. Hey, look, like it's a lot of people just in general
Yeah.
that they need to really just take a step back and just leave this alone for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care about like the dating culture. I don't care about the mental health aspect part of it, because that's
Hmm.
what you're really challenging when you're going out there right now. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody should just focus on their bag, man, and get solid. You know what I'm saying? And get ready to take advantage of the next few economic waves that's going to present, the opportunities it's going to present. And I think if you're working on something that is progressive, I think you will meet people along that journey. Generally speaking, it's only a couple of places you can go where people are genuinely working on themselves, right?
Yeah.
Or working on something. Home Depot, Lowe's, and the gym. I can't think of another place where you can go that people are working on themselves and are openly, you know what I'm saying, having conversation with you, about trying to help your project, trying to help you lift better, trying to help you do more weight or something like that. You need some sort of support or anything, right? So I think
Hmm.
people that are meant to be in a relationship need to meet in spaces where improvement is the goal, no matter whatever it is.
Yeah.
But improvement is the goal. You know what I'm saying? So I think that goes down to geography, as well. So the question being, you know what I'm saying, where to find these women to marry, I would say you got to be prepared to move. You got to be prepared to get up and go travel. You know what I'm saying? If you want to find the right person, a lot of people, they try to date with people around the corner, the folks they can bump into at Walmart, and you know what I'm saying, and have an awkward situation. But if you don't leave, you know, outside your immediate area, then don't complain. If you're not willing to leave outside your immediate area, don't complain that they're not out here.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You need to be where your opportunities are greater. That's just what it is. Because ain't
Hmm.
nothing guaranteed. Because you could be if you are unsuccessful in 10 states, it's you. If you are unsuccessful everywhere you go, it's you.
All things are true. Hey,
For real.
can you see that can you see that last question at the bottom? I want to
Uh,
address it.
let me see here. What was the question? Let me see what we got. What's good, brother? Becoming whole is a process, or does it have to happen by yourself, or can it happen in a relationship? Boom. I'm gonna put that up there.
All right. So
Does it have to happen by yourself, or can it happen in a relationship?
it I think it can happen in a relationship. I think the goal and what I would tell men going forward is to be whole first. Um, Once you're whole, like, and you have what you need and you are on a course and you know what you want in life, it's a lot easier to be able to choose a person. If you're not whole, you may make a mistake in choosing the wrong person because you may not actually know yourself. So for me, becoming whole um happens before you get into a relationship with someone. Can it happen in a relationship? Absolutely. But according, in my opinion, I think it's best for two people to be whole first and then know exactly what they want in another person, and then two whole people come together and then
Yeah,
continue on down the path.
that's that's ideal. Um,
Mm.
I think uh, becoming whole is a process. Does it have to happen by yourself, or can it happen in a relationship? I think it can happen in a healthy relationship. Period. Because relationships are supposed to be good for both parties, right?
Mhm.
So, in some ways, if you got the right relationship, it should accelerate your becoming whole. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Um, I think if you, I think if you're the balance point in a relationship that helps make the other person whole, you got to be careful not to give so much of yourself until you hurt the way you try to help a hurt person that can't even help you heal. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you give up. You give up a lot to
Hmm.
be in a relationship.
Yeah, you
I
do.
mean, the whole comfortable in your own skin, being able to hold yourself accountable for all action. Whole is comfortable in your own skin. Okay. Being being able to hold yourself accountable for all actions. Okay, so
I mean, I would say that
I,
that's
I
not that that's part of it. You know,
that's part of
there's
it.
a
Yeah, I
lot
was
of
about to
different
say
things
like
that going into being whole. You know.
it's a lot of people that's comfortable in their own skin and they ain't shit.
Hmm. And I think that, to kind of go back to the other question, talking point is that, if you have, hurt people all the time, and what if, you have two people who are not whole and then they get in a relationship and then one of those people or both people find out once they become whole or know who they are, they determine that the person they with is not the right person for them. Now what?
Been
When you're whole, you're going to choose the right person for you. Whether or not it works out or not is a totally different story because you have zero say so in the outcome of your relationship because you can't control the other person. But you can do better by picking if you are whole because if you are whole, you know who you are and you know the exact type of person that you need in your life for you.
mhm. Oh, it's all good, Randall. We appreciate it, man. It ain't no big
Yeah,
deal.
man.
We
Yeah, you good, brother.
we yeah, we love the fact that you even participate, man. You know,
Yeah. Elevated
yeah,
dialogue.
elevated dialogue, baby. This is it. You know what I'm saying? So this is what the discussion is about. You know, y'all can keep asking questions too, man. This is valuable feedback
Yeah. And
because
then, like I said, that's my opinion, and that's what I would tell, men going forward is just to be whole, you know. And once you're whole,
yeah,
like I said, you know exactly what you want and exactly what you need in a woman. Because sometimes what you want may not be what you need. You know what I mean?
man,
A lot of
brother,
dudes, they want this and want that, but then when they get it, they was like, man, this really wasn't for me. There's a certain type of woman out there that we see, based off of a certain stereotype that, dudes on a certain level are automatically just going to stay away from. They're
yeah,
like, I've dealt with these type of women before, and every time I've dealt with them, it has produced this type of outcome. So, no longer
yeah,
dealing with these types of women anymore.
yeah. Like I have understood that in so many ways, and I'm just not an argumentative type. So
Yeah,
like I'm not I'm not arguing with nobody, man. Like nah,
it would suck though. Um,
it would suck. Like when you really
Imagine being, not having everything, and then when you find yourself, you find out like that the person that you with ain't the person for you. You know what I mean? Because you done did all that soul searching and found out this ain't it. But I mean, that's part of life, and
it's
you
part of
have
it.
to make those hard decisions. You know what I mean? But I think both people would be better off for it anyway. Because I see toxic relationships on social media all the time.
Toxic
You know what I mean?
relationships are the norm, man. Like,
Yeah,
yo, I
yeah,
man, you ought to hear some of the stories that I hear.
yeah.
Uh, like they come to me about what a lot of these young high school girls like.
Hmm.
They like for the men, for the young boys to be aggressive on them. So, like, I don't even understand that. Like, that's what you want,
Hmm.
but that's the thing. It's like, where did it come from, and why is it so pervasive? I guess now, you know what I'm
Well, I
saying?
think sometimes men, because they sometimes, especially young men, they struggle to find a lot of women. Everybody's got all these girls, so dudes will quote unquote simp for a woman, simp for a girl to get access to being around her to possibly an opportunity may open up and he may score, he may get the bag. You know what I mean? It's like
I like how you said the
so
opportunity might open up.
yeah, because that's what it is, the opportunity. Dudes are opportunists, especially if you are one of those guys who have not been as lucky, with the ladies. You know what I mean? So it's like if you're not lucky with the ladies, it's like, you know, who knows what dudes are willing to do to get the bag, you know? So
They'll
dudes
do,
do all kind of stuff.
man. Look, the reckless stuff. Like, man, you know, I make those posts every now and then about some of the music that we used to listen to that was considered to be like true R&B, and a
Mhm.
lot of the ways that a lot of people was living in the 90s was based off of, you know, like 90s R&B. You know what I'm saying? These
Mhm.
utopian relationships that last 5 minutes, you know what I'm saying, in terms of the life of the song. And you try to go do all of these, you know, jagged edge concerts, you know, like with your old lady and stuff, and that's not it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not it at all. Then you kind of flip forward to the day when now you got this generation of men like this in their 40s that remembers that era, and then we sitting back old enough to be like, yo, these folks in their 30s is crazy, these folks in their 20s is crazy, and you know, past our observations from where we are right now, and we know where it went wrong at, you
Mhm.
know, and we know where it went wrong at in our individual lives or what we, you know, for whatever reason, because all of us don't connect to everything the same way. Some people see something in a movie and it changes their things. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
way they move. You hear a song, you see somebody else, you see an example of it, or you dodge a bullet somewhere, you know, that could have derailed you. Then
Mhm.
you have a different perspective on life then too, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that's why ultimately all of that stuff is an anxiety producing moment, because the things that we went through and survived, there was no there was no video history of that. Now you have it. You really don't
Mhm.
have an excuse to go out here and fail,
Yeah.
unless you just want to be scammed in
Mhm.
some way. Like if you're not getting what you want now, when you got more resources, it's you.
Hey,
Like
you got no complaints from me.
yeah, like it's you after a certain period of time, you know.
Yeah.
And so, what if you don't get that woman? What do you do then? You
Yeah.
know what
What
I'm
if you
saying?
don't get her?
Because
I
it's possible.
mean,
It's
mhm.
hey, after a certain age, it's a lot more possible for you not to get her.
Yep. And then even if you do get her, a possibility that you may not be able to have children or have a woman that's, appropriate age to be able to have children too.
Yeah, no,
You
not
know?
even not even concerning their age. Your ass
Mhm.
might be too old.
Yeah.
Like no, not her. Your
Some
ass. You know,
dudes don't care.
yeah,
Some
some dudes
dudes
don't
do
care,
not care.
and I get that. But what if you ain't in good health?
Yeah, that's why, like for me, I think at a certain level, at a certain age, it becomes selfish. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, you
Obviously
can't be wait
a
till you
little bit
70.
more. Yeah, obviously a little bit more context needs to go into it. Blah blah blah. Maybe the wife want to leave an heir. I don't know, but at 70 years old, 80 years old, and you want to have a child. Like I said, this is just my personal opinion, and you know everybody do whatever they want to do, but 70 and then being 88 when your child graduating high school, and being 75, bringing your child to school is just, all things are true. If people want to do it,
It's on
that,
them.
but I wouldn't, suggest it, like, you had
No,
70 years, you couldn't manage to get it done in 70 years, like I said,
no, bro.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
my man.
just, I feel like I feel like I would, and I guess I'm speaking from someone who doesn't have men in their family who are, 60 and stuff like that. So I'm speaking from someone um, who would want those things. So I wouldn't want to die on my kids, you know, 20 years after they've been alive, and for them to never go through life without, going through the rest of their life without a father, So, but
Yeah,
like I said, that's just my own personal opinion.
yeah,
But that must that one question that Sergeant Thompson, I guess I would say Sergeant Thompson had before that.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, I want to go back to that one if you got time.
Let's see here. The one about physical
Conversations
improvement.
about the soldiers. Yeah.
Yeah,
So he said, I'm assuming that Randall Thompson the second is an NCO. That's why he
yeah. I
posts
hadn't
them as
seen him since he
soldiers.
was a young hard-headed PFC,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but he doing
So
big things, man. He leading.
yeah, that's what's up. He said he have conversations with his soldiers about self improvement. It's not only about school or physical improvement. That is absolutely true. In the military, those are two of the things, unfortunately, fortunately, or whatever, that do separate a lot of people from getting promoted, though. You know what I mean? Because when you go to school and when you go do physical improvement, what that shows higher ups is that you are taking some extra initiative to do things better than the 70, 70, 70. Better than just going to the NCOS schools. If you get a degree, you know how much extra time you have to spend on your personal life seeking self-improvement. So those two outliers right there, especially in the military, are huge because they distinguish people from the average person. If you got a 300 APFT or you got a bachelor's degree, you've been doing more than the average soldier. So even though a lot of soldiers that got good PT in school made some trash NCOs, made some trash leaders,
Super
um,
trash.
super trash. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, um, I agree. It's self improvement is key. Your experiences, the people you interact with, um, that right there is probably one of the biggest things that people in the military have over people who don't go in, and that's the fact that they get to interact with so many different people from all over the world. You think about when you go to Iraq, think about how many different people you interact with. You interact people from the Philippines, you interact people from Uganda, you interact people from Nepal, you interact people who are
All over.
Buddhists, all these different nationalities, different languages, all over the place. And you interact with them on a daily basis, not to mention all the different people that you interact with on a daily basis in your platoon or your company from all over the United States, from all different experiences and backgrounds. So those opportunities and those relationships that you build with those people are super key, and they're gonna pay huge dividends in self improvement as those young soldiers get older and stuff. He's
Man.
straight knucklehead. We all was, man. I was too.
That's how
Look,
you
I
learn.
tell people, look, I've been most ranks E1 through E5 twice.
Yeah, you know, like when you get to this point in your life in experience, like can't nobody hurt your feelings telling you about how hard headed you were. You survived
Yeah.
that,
Yep.
and that's the testament of it. You know what I'm
And you
saying?
still in the military.
It's actually a compliment at this stage. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That you knew I was hard headed, that you knew I had whatever issues, and to be able to see that growth, man, I'm really proud of the guys I got a chance to uh, uh see come up in the ranks and do that name with the right service. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, that's on you. You know what a lot of people try to discourage in being transparent and vulnerable about where you are in life as a man. You know what I'm saying? Is that people remember where you used to be and they want to try to hold you to that space. But that's the very reason that I'm the expert
Mm-hmm.
at that situation because I learned myself. You know what I'm saying? All you do is remember what I showed you. You didn't know
Yeah.
what my full capacity was. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I encourage people to live that way. You know?
Yeah. Because people think you can't learn from people who've been divorced. It's like, well, how can you be a dating expert and you've been divorced? Because I've learned what not to do. You know what I mean? I've picked the wrong person twice or whatever. Like you have a whole lot to offer if you've been separated or divorced, once or
If
twice
you
or whatever.
if you've been divorced, you probably be the best dating coach ever
Exactly.
because like most people that's been married, they shouldn't be dating.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is a married person gonna tell you about dating?
Yeah. Especially you've been
They
married
shouldn't
for
be able
40
to tell you
years.
nothing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
come on. In
Yeah.
general, who are you advising if you're married? Who are you advising if you're married on dating? You-
Mm.
that's just a That's just a valid question, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like, how does a teacher have any credibility without failing a test?
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah, you
think
have a
failure
whole
is
bunch of
part of,
tests.
yeah, I think failure is part of the course. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And then it's
And
not even
it's
always
not even
failure.
failure.
It's
It's not even failure. It's like
yeah.
expectation management. All this stuff boils
Yeah.
down to you learning yourself and then making decisions according to your self awareness at the time.
Mhm. I mean, think about
Things.
how many students who get think about how many students get 4.0s, but
Mm,
can't pass the SAT because they have test anxiety. That
yeah,
that test has nothing to do with their level of intelligence. It's just that they're not a good test taker, or they
that's it.
struggle because they have
It doesn't
test
mean
taking
that
anxiety. You know what I
does not
mean?
mean they don't understand the material at all.
Yeah, and you got people there to score, almost perfect on the SAT, and they guessed at half of them because they guessed right. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
The reality of it is you could take a multiple choice test and get 100 right because they're all multiple choice. You could guess right and not know anything, So I understand testing, I get them, and I think there's a time and place for them. But even going
Yeah,
back to this, it ain't all about the school or the
and it
physical
ain't. And look
improvement. It's
again.
part of it.
This
Wait,
is why I was saying
it's part of
earlier.
it based off of your it's part of it's part of it based off of what your end goal is. I would say that.
Yeah, and the other part of what I was saying before was this: you can only have what you can afford, right? This conversation is an ideal understanding of that. If you're not whole, what you think you can afford?
Hmm.
You can
Can't
only
afford
afford.
whole food prices.
You can't exactly. You ain't no. You got to go to Dollar General.
They go to Dollar General. Go
And
get the
see,
go get the old meat.
these men get in the army and think that that's it, and they forget the army is a machine that's going to keep moving. You have to make sure you're marketable or able to be self-employed when you get out. You don't have to do 20 years. That is a
Hmm.
fact.
All facts.
I did 12 years and 7 months, and I got out, and I know when I was talking about getting out, people said, "Nah, man, why would you get out? You're already over 10." And oh god, there was too many things that I could see changing that would affect my personal outcomes.
Hmm.
Um, and like Obama was coming out of office, we didn't know if Clinton, Hillary was going to get elected or Trump was going to get elected. I wasn't staying around to find out,
Hmm.
uh, and because I knew either way, it would have some kind of impact, some kind of strategic impact to, you know what I'm saying, what I was doing with myself. And then, you know, people just think that once you get in, you got to stay in and get to the 20, and you really don't. If you got a
Hmm.
strategy, I knew I wasn't gonna be able to work for nobody, not for long anyway. Because what's the like when you really sit down and do the math? If you let's say if you've been working since you were 16 and now you're 40, you've been working for 24 years, and you still have to go to work. When does it end if you don't do something different to change that cycle? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I started making certain investments such as like real estate and um, you know just posture, mostly real estate, just to posture myself to get out.
Hmm.
I had a lawn care service. I used to cut grass when I got off work because I was test driving to see if I could do some of the things at a bare minimum that I know I could still feed myself with. You know what I'm saying? I was never dependent on the army paycheck. I knew I was going to benefit with the army paycheck later after I got out. You know what I'm saying? So I was making investments with the paycheck that I was getting.
Hmm.
And setting myself up for success with that. So if I get into a situation where like my employment was questionable, like somebody get fired, you get laid off, contracts end all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I never want to put myself in a situation where I didn't have a roof over my head.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
like this question. I
yeah,
mean, this statement. I think that's truth. Um, I was never the NCO that was like, hey, I was never big on reenlisting. So I was never pushing reenlistment off on my soldiers. I never did it. I told them to have a plan. That was it. You get out, do whatever it is you want to do. Just make sure you got a plan. So I always told my soldiers two things: have a plan for staying in for 20 years, and have a plan for getting out if you had to get out tomorrow. So you need to be doing both. You need to have a plan for what am I going to do when I get out? Am I going to go into real estate? Am I going to work a 9 to 5? Blah, blah, blah. And if I decide to go into whatever space, do I have the necessary skills, degrees, or whatever it is to achieve that? Um, or and you need to stay and continue to get promoted, do all the things you need to do in order to get promoted. So I think, you need to be doing both at the same time. So that's what I always told myself, to do both at the same time. And, like you said, you ain't got to do 20 years. I did 20, and it was a good decision for me. But, all things are true. The same thing for you. You
Yep.
getting all 12 years and 7 months was the best decision for you. So
Yep.
here we are, two people, two different paths, and we are here meeting. The day before we go live. The first
Yep.
day on another show. So,
It's kind of crazy when you break it down like that. You know what I'm saying? We went from the decision to stay in and get out, still brought us to this conversation from different ends of the spectrum. So
mm-hmm,
it's going. I think that that's going to be a very good tool, especially because a lot of people that follow my timeline on social media know that I was in the military. They ask me a lot of questions when they see things that's like
mm-hmm,
in the media dealing with like something foreign policy related or just got a general question, right? So um having conversations about this with my veteran population is very important because a lot of y'all got sons that probably need to go sign up and go do something different. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all
yeah,
got daughters that need to sign up and go do something different. A lot of y'all got kids that's not college material. You know what I'm saying? And we live in an age where you have to be transparent about that now. You know what I'm saying? You I've always been a proponent of have a skill first and use school to enhance the skill. You know, you got to develop something. You got to learn something somewhere, and until you find something to be good at, you're gonna have a tough time. I ain't gonna say a tough time. It's easier to access networks that take care of you if you have a skill to offer to the network. That's all I
yeah,
want to say.
yeah,
Yeah. If you're useful, if you're useful, somebody's gonna reach out and connect you.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm saying? I think if you work on having a skill and you just get more opportunities in life. You can't be afraid to try stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I got that mentality when after I joined, they man, look, the army ain't scared to try nothing new.
mm-mm.
That's why they tell you to be flexible, you know.
You
But you
better
got to
be
respond to
flexible.
somebody else's chaos and disorganization, and you can't even organize your own life. You can't take that experience and
Mm-hmm,
incorporate it in what you're doing. I find that to be kind of strange. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a damn where you work at. You got to start extracting something from it.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Because I look at it, the first part, he said the army takes from people all the time. I don't necessarily look at it that. I'm going to push back a little bit and just give it, not even push back, but just give it a different take. The
Mm-hmm.
army is like you mentioned before, it's a machine. You know what I mean? The army is a system, and it does what it's supposed to do. The army has its mission, and at the end of the day, it's going to achieve its mission, regardless of Sergeant Thompson, Sergeant V, Sergeant Martin. You know what I mean? The army's still going to have its mission. What you have to do, and what we had to do, is learn how to navigate through the system to get our desired outcomes. I learned a long time ago as a young NCO that every duty station that I'm at has something to offer. You just have to
Yep.
figure out what it is and take advantage of it. If you're at a post, and at that post you got a lot of downtime. Y'all not deploying, y'all not doing none of that stuff. Where you got a whole bunch of opportunity to take some college classes and get your PT score up. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, um, we know that to your statement that the army, I'm gonna use your term now. The army does take. So because it's a system and that's what it does, then soldiers have to be like you did, get around those smart mentors and stuff like that and learn how to navigate through the system. Because that
Yep.
same army that's taken from people is the same army that people have gotten degrees. Like the army paid for three of my degrees. You know what I mean? Um, So that same army that's taken is the same army that's giving a whole lot too. You just got to be able to get in there and grab what you can. You know what I mean? And figure out how to get it,
You gotta
because
access it.
man, because I mean, the army does take. I'm gonna use his words. The army does take, but at the same time, the army offers, at least when I was in, $5,500 a year in 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 tuition assistance. So on the other hand,
Mm.
they take, but they also give. You just be able to gotta take
You
it.
gotta
If
have
they
something to
giving it,
trade
you
it.
gotta take it. You know
You
what
gotta
I
have something
mean?
to trade.
Yeah,
Look,
you got.
it's a capitalist society. You gotta have something to trade.
Hmm. Yeah.
The army says the army outlines what they want from you
Hmm.
and how to access their benefits. And all you got to do is meet this criteria.
Yep.
So they can't take nothing from you if
Nope.
you know what the criteria is. You just go in there to trade it. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? You go in there and give your service to the service itself.
Hmm.
You volunteer to participate in the service,
Hmm.
and we got these benefits over here. You got to do a little research on how to
Yep.
access them,
Hmm.
and we ain't gonna tell you no. You just fill out the
Yeah.
paperwork.
Yep. Because you think about it. I mean, you only have to do what, 3 or 4 years, and you get your whole GI Bill.
All
Get
of it.
all that thousands of dollars and stuff like that to pay for your degrees and stuff like this. It's like,
Mhm.
bro, I just graduated last month with my
Yeah, that's
master's.
right. Yeah. You
Yeah.
got your math. Man, you've been in school
How long
for
was
20
I going
years.
to school? Ever since you know me, I was going to school.
I ain't never seen you not be in school like you.
Nope.
When I met you, you was an adult kindergarten, and then you done
Yep.
graduated adult
Yep.
high school again. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying?
Yep. Look, when I met you, I finished my degree. I finished my associates, when I was out there in Iraq in like '08. And then
Hmm.
I didn't finish my bachelor's until 2014, 13. And then I just finished my master's, 3 weeks ago in May. And
Hmm.
the army paid for all of my school. So, but the army also, like he said, to his point, the army also took a lot. Like, um, I lost a lot behind the military. I lost a lot of time. I probably it affected probably all my relationships with my sons. You know,
You trade something.
good. I had to trade something. I didn't know what the trade was going to be at the end of the day. I didn't know it was going to cost me, certain things, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and that goes back to like I don't think things ever really go wrong. I just think that we have. Uh, I think we need an adjustment in expectation management.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know, I don't like thinking that people playing poorly, even though we know that they do. You can tell by some of the outcomes, but I think generally speaking, they playing poorly because their expectations are poor.
Mm-hmm. And not
Like
talking to
if
nobody. They don't have the mentors either.
no,
Like, bro, I
well,
had mentors around me all the time in the army, but I ain't talked to none of these jokers. I just didn't know.
yeah,
Wish I would have known, man. But I
yeah,
did get smart though a little bit when I was matter of fact that deployment we was out there and I started hearing all these officers talking about money and how they was losing money in the stock market and how there was all these different things like this. And I was like, man, what the heck? I was like,
yeah.
how these dudes making all this money? And I started jumping on board and started investing and stuff like that and it paid off. Um It is true. It is true. When you put 100% in something, some things can suffer. We saw it all the time with the APFT. With my
That's
friend, soon as Joe failed to run, what happened?
hey,
NCO soldier go NCOs go 100% on the run, and then what happened next time? The Joker failed the push-ups. You
yeah,
like, golly, man, like,
you
so
ain't
you
solid at nothing.
you ain't solid at nothing,
But
So,
yeah, some people
uh,
get overtrained. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
I've always thought about that, but for the most part, hey,
Man,
you
them jokers that's failing APFTs they ain't overtraining. You gotta train before you can overtrain.
hey, chill out, Sergeant. Yeah, no, chill out. Let them have it.
Bro,
Let them
I was a stickler for PT.
yeah,
If I ain't do nothing else right, we are gonna do some good PT.
yeah,
Because that was the one thing that was mandatory. And I am about my time. I'm a stickler about my time. So, You know, if we're gonna be out there for 6:30 to 7:30, then we're gonna do some PT. You know, I ain't
Yep.
gonna sit. I ain't gonna have Joe out there wasting his time standing around in the cold. You know what I'm saying? No, we're gonna work out. We're gonna get some PT in.
Mhm. Man, well, I think we got a lot of content right here for
Yeah.
discussion. I
Shout out
think,
to my man Randall Thompson.
yeah. Hey, guys, everybody that's
Get all the
listening
love.
right here, I need y'all to do me a favor and make sure that you pay attention to this comment that's highlighted right there. And make sure y'all tune in tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? At that link right there.
Yeah, we're gonna get live like a wire.
Mm-hmm. And I'm a, I'm a,
Hey, 7,200 now.
yeah. Let me pull the question back up here again.
And I was just saying, he talking about they getting 7,200 in 16 credit hours a year. Man,
You think about going back to school? Is that
who?
enticing?
Not me. Not me. Not at all. I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Done. I
So
look. I never liked school. Checked it out. That's the thing about it. Still don't. I just look. And here I'm real. I never liked school, but at the end of the day, it's somewhere along the line I learned. I figured out that that's what I needed in order to do the job that I wanted to do. So, you know, being in the military and being retired and stuff, I didn't have to go out there and make, you know, $300,000, $500,000 a year. I'd rather work the job that I want and, you know, build something else. So,
yeah,
good.
man.
I think
Well,
I'm end up going live on Facebook tomorrow too. I think I'm just gonna do
yeah,
both.
the interaction is different on Facebook, man.
Yeah.
Like, um, I think after we bounce it around, I think we
Hmm.
can, you know what I'm saying, have enough. We got to get a data set so we can see
Yeah.
which platform is hidden for us. You know what I'm saying, the right way. I know a lot of the people that I interact with, they on Facebook. You know,
Yeah.
I only have Instagram, so I can publish to multiple accounts at one time. You know what I'm saying? I barely check my Instagram. I'm terrible about
Yeah.
it. So, but
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna do
man,
that. I'm gonna go live. We're gonna go live on Facebook tomorrow too. That way you can just share it and then have it on yours as well.
yeah, because really you could turn it on and just let it sit there. You
Yeah.
know, and you could turn, from a completely separate device and it won't hurt anything.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man. Well, hey, folks, this has been Code Talk. Been another episode. This is the catch up. You know, my brother Garfield Martin, aka the Uncle Junior.
Yep.
And tomorrow we are going live at the link that you see up there in the on the screen, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're gonna have a great dialogue. And the question again, I'm gonna throw it up here before we get out of here. Just say that way you can make note of it and be prepared. Boom. Look, some
Yep.
come, y'all
Where
come
all the
tell.
good women?
Yeah, where all the good women at?
Yeah.
Where all the good women's at?
Yeah. Where all the good women? Where the quality good women?
Yeah,
Not just the good women.
yeah,
Quality.
to marry. That's the question. So,
Mm-hmm.
you guys hang on to that and get ready for tomorrow. I appreciate you guys participating. Shout out to my man Randall Thompson, the second, one of my old soldiers.
Yeah.
Now he an old
Appreciate
man, you know what I'm saying, with a family and speaking, you know what I'm saying, wisdom and dropping some game too. It's crazy how fast that takes place, you know. So hey man, I bid you all adieu. Good night. I'll talk to you later. Boom.
deuces.